guys, hello, and welcome to another African movie review with me, Mukami Ngare. And on today's episode, we are going to review a Kenyan film by the name Disconnect. It's available on Netflix, so head up there and watch it, and let's support African filmmakers. So, Disconnect is the story of Celine, a young Kenyan woman, and the struggles she goes through as she navigates the Nairobi dating scene. Brenda Wairimu, a veteran Kenyan actress, plays the role of Celine. Before I go into the movie and tell you what worked for me and what didn't work out, I first have to say that let's give Brenda Wairimu her flowers. I mean, she was amazing. She brought it and she looked amazing. And not to mention that in almost all the scenes, she was wearing her 4C natural hair. Then there was Catherine Kamau, who we all know and love as Kate actress. I mean, her performance was everything. This melanin queen is, oh my god. And I feel like she deserves a leading role. Moving forward, I have seen some of the films that have come out from Kenya recently. She's playing supporting roles, and then for the ladies, we finally get to see Pascal Tokodi take off his clothes. Not to objectify him or anything, but he also did a great job. What I'm saying is I was very proud to be Kenyan when I watched this film. So let's go in and see what worked out and what didn't. Okay? So the movie begins with a cold open where we see Josh, played by Nick Mutuma, going into Celine's house. Celine is going through a heartbreak. I mean, she's going through a humiliating event in her life. She was dating this guy by the name Kenneth, and they had this open relationship of some sort. But one day she dresses up and shows up to his apartment. And she finds another woman there, it's humiliating. So when Josh comes into Celine's house, he cleans the house, he goes to the kitchen to make her breakfast. We get to see his caring nature, and we kind of wonder, maybe this is the guy she needs. Then it just so happens that Kenneth passes away and Celine is heartbroken, to say the least. This was a man she was in a relationship with. She even thought that they would get married one day, despite the fact that she found another woman in his apartment. So she mourns him, and Josh is there with her through it, everything. So Josh remains a shoulder to lean on when Celine is mourning Kenneth. He is that present friend for her. And even when she needs to go home on a road trip, he's there for her. Because one of her friends, Robin, is getting married. So that weekend happens to be her dowry payment. So Robin is played by Piera McKenna. And to be honest, this is the best acting I have seen from Piera McKenna. So kudos to her. We meet Celine's mom, who loves Josh and thinks that Celine should marry Josh. And we are with Mama because Josh is everything that Celine is, even though she may not see it. Feel like Josh is the perfect guy for her. Then after the dowry payment scene comes the bachelor and the bachelorette party scene. Hey, this was one of the best scenes for me in this film, especially the bachelorette party where we get to meet the sex therapist, who was very hilarious and uninhibited, which is something new in the Kenyan film scene where, censorship is on another level. If you know Ezekiel Mutua, new, and the guys are also having fun. I could literally smell the alcohol in those two scenes. This was Pascal Tokodi's moment, and we finally get to see and understand why he's one of Kenya's finest. And then, to be honest, at this point, I get tired of hearing the names Celine and Josh. The names are very, very white. First of all, they are very American. There were other supporting characters with African names, but I feel like for the two protagonists, for the two leading roles, they should have been given African names, Kenyan names to be exact. I know for Kenya, with tribalism and everything, we are aiming for a tribeless Kenya, but there are some names that usually don't reflect one's tribe. So for leading roles at this point, I feel like we need to be giving them African names. And Piera McKenna's character was called Robin. Robin of all names. The last time I heard the name Robin was in How I Met Your Mother. At this point, I was giving them African names in my head. I feel like they could have done better with the names. then Nick Mutuma's character, Josh, was calling Pascal Tokodi's character Otis instead of Otis. Let's be authentic for once. Let's be proud to be Kenyan. Yeah, I feel like it would have been more authentic if he was called Otis. Why call him Otis? And then after the bachelorette scene, I feel like the movie is stalling now. I'm like, okay, so where are we heading? What is going to happen? Then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we found out that Joshy boy was not single. He has been having a girlfriend all along from the beginning. I mean, this is the time they're introducing Josh's girlfriend now. So when he was coming over to Celine's house, cleaning after her, making her breakfast, taking her on road trips, keeping quiet when the mom says that you should, and he was the perfect man for Celine. He kept quiet all along. He was a man in a relationship. So I feel like the girlfriend should have been introduced earlier, or it just felt like she was an afterthought. Like they came to a point in the plot and they were like, okay, so what do we do now? We need more scenes, somehow we need more conflict. And so they added the girlfriend. The girlfriend is called Neema and she's played by Bridget Mwashigadi. Then there was a scene that didn't make sense to me, and it was Josh and the girlfriend just fighting and then making up. It was just like, it was out of nowhere. So there was this fight. We didn't know what had happened, where it came from, but they just fought and then they started making out. So I feel like that scene was unnecessary. But I still decided to give the movie a chance. I mean, I had come this far. The actors were amazing and it was a Kenyan production. So we move on to Josh's birthday, where the girlfriend invites Celine, and obviously there's tension. So Celine finds a date for Josh's birthday. His name is Richie, played by Brian Ogola. I mean, Brian Ogola is an amazing actor, but the stylist failed him in this scene. Way. I mean, the shirts, the coat, the everything. Oh my god, even the haircuts. But in subsequent scenes, he was dressed up nicely, and they took a little time with the makeup. But on this scene, So, unfortunately, Josh has a nut allergy, and the girlfriend ordered a cake with nuts. And Josh gets an allergic reaction and they rush him to the hospital. And Celine is mad at the girlfriend. And the girlfriend is like, you're barking at the wrong tree. Josh and I are getting married. So Celine is surprised because she thought that Josh would tell her everything, or maybe because she's in love with him. But it doesn't go well with her. So when Josh is finally up and better, she doesn't talk to him and she keeps her distance from him. Now, at this point, I realize there's something that has been reoccurring throughout the movie, and it has to do with Nick and Brenda. They couldn't keep eye contact for more than 10 seconds. I mean, if you think I'm lying, just go and watch the film. I feel like there was awkward tension between them, or like they were not comfortable around each other. That's the vibe I got, to be honest. So, what happens next is Josh breaks up with Neema, his crazy girlfriend. Like, yay, finally. Then he ends up at Celine's door, and he confesses that he has always loved her since they were 5 years old. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. Then what follows next is a very awkward 2-second sex scene. As I said, I feel like Brenda and Nick were uncomfortable while shooting this film. Then after that, we come to the end, where I feel like the filmmakers were just wrapping up things. So Celine meets up with the girls, and she tells them about her encounter, her rendezvous with Josh, and then bolts out of the hotel. Next thing we see, she's meeting Josh for coffee, and they don't talk about their night together, just that Josh got back together with his girlfriend. And Celine gives Richie a chance, and Josh, I don't know if he's in an open relationship now, because he hooks up with this client by the name Belinda, who is a seductress. I mean, she's very beautiful, and from the beginning we have seen her and Josh having some chemistry. So the ending was actually nice. It was satisfying because Celine and Josh together, so it means that Celine has finally given herself a chance to date, and Josh is navigating things. Well, it was a good ending, to be honest. Something I loved about this movie, first of all, was the witty dialogue. The dialogue was on point. The screenwriter for this film was Natasha Likimani. She's one of the best in Kenya. She has done major films, and I didn't expect anything less from her. I mean, that was a good job, Natasha. Then something else with the African music. They put African music in almost all the scenes, and they also translated the Swahili for the non-Swahili speakers. That was amazing, especially here in Kenya where we're pushing for Kenyan music. That was a good job. And the last thing that I would like to mention was the locations. The guys who scouted for the locations did an amazing job. And then they showcased the Kenyan landscape well. The Kenyan urban scene was well showcased. And I want to say kudos to these filmmakers. We know how hard it is for filmmakers, especially in Kenya. It's really hard for Kenyan filmmakers, so we must support, celebrate, and encourage them whenever we can, especially because most filmmakers are underfunded and they have to go through a lot of challenges to bring these stories to our screens. We appreciate the team that made Disconnected. You made us proud, guys. It's very important that African stories are told by Africans because from the past, we have seen outsiders, especially white people, tell African stories, and they have not done the best job because they are stereotyped. And when you look at the story, you're like, no, this is not the Africa I know. This is not the African I am. That's why African stories, African filmmakers matter. And there's this African proverb that says that if the lion does not tell his side of the story, then the hunter will tell the side of the story. So, guys, this channel is about promoting and encouraging African filmmakers. If you want to see more African films, if you want to see me reviewing more African films, please subscribe to my channel, comment, and let me know what you think. And I love making these films, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!